So say set up wide is good. We said we're trying to get the club now to stop going back. In the first move there, your wrist is sort of folding quite like. Even that's this is your first swing. This is where this is the original swing. Okay. So the club now, before the club's got really sort of about knee height, the club's disappeared way behind you. Now this one, we see the golf club going back a little more with the arms and the shoulders more towards the camera. The ball in the same sort of position, the club's now visible where this one obviously disappeared behind you. As we said, top of the backswing, because of that sort of change of grip at your top of the backswing there now, that club face where it should be in line with your left forearm as it was at a setup has now turned to open up whatever that degree of change is there, okay? Compare that now to this one, okay? If we look at your left forearm, there's the club. So it's that change there from the last shot, okay? Doesn't seem a lot, does it? But it feels you massively. But again, if we know impact, I change colour, that amount of degree change there, 10 degrees. 10 degrees impact. It's got a long way in it. So if we can eventually get yourself to a point where I would say that club face view is okay being a little bit strong, if right is your tendency, as you said. I would agree with more shots I've seen in your lessons have been to the right. Okay, so if we got your club face sort of this line here, so on the red line there, it would be slightly closed relative to your left arm, okay, but that's playable. When you're there and there, to me that's just a long way closed there. Club's pointing straight to the sky, not back a little bit. You can't go back to the golf ball with a club face in that position unless you really do hold the club face open. But in this case, as much as you might try and do that, the contact you give the golf ball, and that golf ball we can see is shot off. Oh, there you go. The line, that golf ball shot off over there. That basically is the degree change almost from where your last shot went down, where your last shot came through. That's where your last shots have been starting. That's kind of the change at the top of the backswing there, isn't it? So those two positions there, probably there and there, I would say, is that same angle at the top there. So by being a little bit more or less of a rotation with that club face or twist in your hands, the club now can come back to the golf ball and start a little bit more towards target and end up being more that way rather than going that way, okay? So just check that thing. Again, it's a checkpoint. Where's that club top and backswing? If it's pointing to the sky, it's twisted somewhere in your swing because your left hand and right hand grip are on the club in a fairly neutral fashion. If the grip was this way, then it would go to the top of the sky when you're flat. But when you're fairly square to start with, the back of your left wrist and the club face are kind of mirrored image, So when you're to the top here, they should be matched up. But if the club's doing this and the grip's still here, well, there's been some change in the backswing. And I would say most, if not all, of that change happens in there. That first one there, when that club disappears, your right wrist to do this is almost pulling the club and twisting in your hands. It's very hard to do that without any twisting in your hands there. So just be careful of that, because again, any twist, as you can imagine, I'm sure, it's going to create some variances all over the place. The club's starting up in one position, why even aim the club face? It's going to come back different anyway, so why put the club down pointed to a target? That make sense? Yes. Good. So have a couple more shots in with that three with there, see how it goes. But yeah, try for your sort of pointing the club back straight to the target on the way back, and then we hinge the wrist up in the backswing, okay?